into a brand new wave, drowning out the noise it's tame. Liberty whispers through the brave, breaking free from every chain. Nullify the rules they crave, crypto beats that pave the way. Anarchy with minds that's safe, algorithms new dawn today. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride. Beyond control we take a stand, casting off the iron brand. Freedom flowing through our hands, revolution's our command. Decentralize the way we plan, all together we expand. Breaking shackles for the clan, in this journey we're unplanned. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride.
Hey guys, guess what? By the by, word on the street is Zach is back. Let me go find him. I'll be right back.
I'm back.
Oh yeah.
It was a Tuesday hiatus. If you
Well,
want
we
if you want to
survived.
see more, yeah, you survived 25 minutes for him. Obviously, those on X, but I looked at the stats. You really like Andrew, so
Okay. Well, that was a good episode. See you later.
but yeah, you really loved Andrew. If you really want to see more of me though, and you want to get closer to God, you can check out prophetic intentions over on YouTube. It is what I like to call my ministry. I go over, reflect, and I read, and I go over and reflect the gospel readings of the day, in accordance to the 3-year cycle that my church has. Every day there is a reading from both the Old and the New Testament, plus the gospel. I go over the gospel, just stick to that intermediary and that balance. Each reading has correspondence to each other. Obviously, the Old Testament reading is going to correspond with the New Testament reading. Weekly, usually it's one reading until you get to the Sabbath, the Sunday obligation. But they all correlate with the gospel reading and the psalm of the day. I usually just go over the gospel and reflect upon the gospel and what it has to tell us for how we should live our life for today. So if you do want to see more of me in a more spiritually endowed observance towards Christ, check out Prophetic Intentions. So, and I will say the shorts are on fire because most people just like shorts anymore, man. So I try my best to cater to those that want to get a little snippet of what what I have to say when it comes towards the reflection of God. So, but there are full episodes if you want to get the full reading and the full reflection. So, prophetic intentions. At that moment, you can also support us here at the Legacy. Right? See that QR code? I'll give you five. I'll give you a few minutes. Scan that. You can support us if you like. You can donate. So you can donate to support us because I mean, we want to continue to keep doing this and expand this as best as we can. But StreamYard is just fucking expensive, man.
Media Pony,
And I
write it
got
down.
bills.
Let's go.
And I got bills to pay with my actual job. So.
Right.
I mean, so, but that's not forcing anybody the issue. But if you would like to support us, there's the QR code for you. You can support on directly to PayPal. So, and if it goes over $600, don't worry, taxation's theft. Fuck the government.
Right.
Don't report it. Anytime that you go over $600 in your PayPal, everybody, um, just don't even report it, dude. If they ask, it's a gift. It's all a gift.
Get from a friend.
It was a gift from a friend. Exactly. This isn't financial advice. This is me telling you, fuck the government. But I digress for a minute. I'll give you a moment. I'll give you a moment. It's gone. So that way you can see the screen. Other than that, this is technically labeled Legacy. Now, usually it's every week, every Monday or Tuesday, but this is technically Legacy News, episode 90. And this is technically Crypto Wednesday episode 11. Both are going away because both are simultaneously going to be combined as one for all sorts of whatever we find, whether it's in the news, in the realities of the news that's based in society, politics, culture, crypto. We will never go away from crypto. Most of it will probably be crypto oriented because I think crypto aligns anyways with society and culture and politics anyways. But join us every Wednesday, which will be live. Don't know when that date will be, if it will be next Wednesday that we start or in a couple weeks. There may be a third head on the panel, actually. So
Great. I get to edit the background.
yes, you get to edit the background. So but that will be called, as this is titled, The Last of a Legacy in Crypto News, a Silver Linings Pilot. If that doesn't give you a hint, I don't know what will. It is the silver linings. Take the news of the day that's all negative and try to find a silver lining in it. What is positive about it? What is the solution that we can come of it? So what can we attenuate the good out of all the bad? And that's the plan. So that'll be every Wednesday. And that also gives me and Andrew 2 days off on Mondays and Tuesdays, because typically, because of both of our schedules, we usually record the day of and then release it at 5 p.m. But it'll be live at 11 a.m. on Wednesdays. Just don't quote me on when that'll start. It might be next week. It might be in 2 weeks. Could be in a month. It'll probably somehow be next week.
You know what to say about the rumors, sell the news.
Yeah. So other than that, speaking of news today and going out with a big bang, Nomad Capitalist. What's what is on the itinerary today before we jump into it, Andrew? Don't just jump into it. I see you.
I've already seen this video, but it's very good, and I never heard of this lady. Her name's Lynette Zhang, and she's very, very informed about silver and gold and a bunch of other different topics. And I thought it kind of fit with today's episode because it's Crypto Wednesday, right? Or it's retiring Crypto Wednesday, but still emerging. and it really provided a different context, a different perspective on the Genius Act or whatever it's called, and stable coins and all that. So I thought, like I said, it would be a very good fit for today's episode.
Well, I mean, with that, if you did not know, they are the price of gold and silver, for the matter, is going up mainly due to inflationary measures because they just can't keep increasing the money supply. But with that being the case, it's going to come to a time that it's going to get so inflated, the price, because the dollar ain't shit, that you're going to see the government, and they already are doing this. You're going to start seeing places in regulatory oversight to where only the government can hold and buy and sell, central banks. So get into the gold and silver trek right now, as you can, because eventually and ultimately they will try to control it and consolidate it so that you can't, just like they did in 1971 when they took the dollar off the gold standard. It was to control the plebes, just like when they confiscated gold and made it illegal for you to personally own gold in 1932 under FDR. So get in while you can and hedge your wealth with something that actually has substantial value.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I can't hurt anything.
silver is better than crypto. Depends on how you want to rectify that there, Roger. To a certain extent, yes. And to a certain extent, no, because remember, going to Carl Menger's theory of subjective value, value is subjective to the beholder of the exchange. So if one person wants to perceives that their value in their exchange between parties is that of some sort of crypto, then that is their value, and that's what they behold to, and that's what they would prefer. But obviously, in your to your perspective, silver is better, so you would prefer silver. But what if I told you that how do you exchange silver with people when it's in higher quantity? So like you would have to coin it, but how do you coin it without having
Right.
some sort of centrally consolidated form? So you'd have to have an idea of circulating competitive currencies. So just like back before the central bank, in between the fall of the second bank and the rise of the third bank of the Federal Reserve System, we had a banking apparatus and a market of money currency that was certificates. Banks were they were predominantly just depositories, and you would deposit what you had in the bank, and they gave you a certificate that says this is how much this dollar is worth in the amount of silver or the amount of gold that you have in reserve that the bank holds. I mean, it kept the bank honest, for one. So, and it made you, it allowed for you not to carry gold and silver. So I think crypto and having a gold or a silver back scenario would be great. I think crypto and uh, hard value metals that can be interlinked together, and we can use them together. That way you don't have to constantly carry silver and gold.
Now I know that in the past there was physical crypto, like put on a
Welcome, Chris.
QR code on on like physical coins. It wasn't like gold or silver. It was artificial coins, but you could do that with silver and gold if you wanted to.
Isn't Aaron Day trying to figure out a way to gold back Xano, the token Xano? I believe he
Last
is.
I heard, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and there's definitely, I think Litecoin has some sort of partnership that can allow you to back it with silver.
Well, Litecoin's
I
supposed to be the silver to
yeah.
Bitcoin's gold. Bitcoin Core is gold. That's the
Well,
slide.
no. I mean, like actual silver linked to Litecoin. At least that's what Litecoin Lisa I heard her speak about that many times.
Okay.
So I think there's
Yeah.
a way to interlink Litecoin with silver. So like you can use the gold and the silver, the hard metal apparatus as a nice backing with the crypto. So then for those who are a little iffy on the crypto market, you can still have a tangible asset that you see and you can feel and you can touch by withdrawing your you can exchange your crypto for gold if you would prefer to have gold or silver or copper or what have you.
Right.
Hmm.
I do
But
know.
this, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Uh, I was just saying. I just touching base on the thing about the Bitcoin and silver comparison between Bitcoin and Litecoin, or gold and silver comparison for the Litecoin is basically like the test net for Bitcoin Core. So there's interlinking there. So when they do like the Mimblewimble with the privacy thing, they're
Mhm.
eventually going to try to bring that into Bitcoin Core, and that'll pass on to a bunch of other ones. So privacy is coming, whether we like it or not, whether the Fed or the state likes it or not. It's something that's being worked on because people are recognizing more and more how important it is that you have privacy in your transactions on like a broad external scale.
Well, wasn't there was a recently there or something's going on within the Bitcoin core realm where there's been another fork, I believe.
Yeah,
Forget what it's
they're talking
called.
about yeah, they're talking about another fork that's coming.
Yeah.
It's a mechanism for censorship. So people are posting like binary information, like zeros and ones, into the code of Bitcoin, and they're going and translating the information on a computer, and you can like pull up pictures from the binary. And they're saying that that's an excuse for doing CSAM and all that. And so that's
No,
why they're saying that.
this wasn't. I was in a space that Sal was actually a part of, and that wasn't what it was. It was literally forking. It's some sort of Bitcoin core fork that allows
Yeah.
you to create a more not only a more private form of of utility, but also a faster way of utilizing the transactional idea of what Bitcoin should be. So it kind of like gives back the tradition of what Bitcoin was initially made for, which was the utility of both privacy, decentralization, and a fast scale. It helps it scale. That's yeah.
Okay.
Or at least that's what I was gathering about it. It's a fork that actually helps scale Bitcoin and make it more
Now
private and
I can't really
decentralized in its utility.
I I can't comment on it because I don't know exactly what you're referring to. What I was just referring to was the Bitcoin Knots node implementation and where
That's
they
what it
want.
was. That Bitcoin knots. That's what it
Yeah.
was. So wait,
Okay.
tell me
Bitcoin.
exactly. Yeah,
Well, that's what I was saying. The Bitcoin Knots is it's a different node. Like so, if you go and if you're an old
yeah.
school guy like I was, you can just download the first. It's called a node. It's the software you would use to send and receive transactions. Right before you go to Coinbase and all this. For hardware wallets, they had a JSON file, and you can move it from computer to computer as long as you have that JSON file. And
Mm.
so that's just the way that like really old school people use it. And there's this disagreement about what should work and what shouldn't work. And so instead of just, recognizing each other, they're talking now about potentially forking it, doing with a hard fork instead of just having different like environments for people to do code in.
Yeah, because the initial idea of knots is to actually combat the censorship that Bitcoin Core has become. a part of.
Yeah.
Bitcoin Core is literal censorship, whereas that's why we need forks. That's the whole idea of forks, whether it's soft or hard forks, is to check.
One side is grandstanding, the other isn't.
You're a grandstander.
Yeah, I'm a heretic too. So here we go.
Mm-hmm. You're a grandstander.
You know who isn't a heretic? This
Andrew
lady.
Henderson?
She seems. Well, no, it's I think Javier Malay. Oh no, sorry,
He's a
no,
heretic.
Not
Here, hold up.
the tax terminator. I'm sorry.
Who am I? Who am I, Andrew?
Oh, hi, Carl.
Well, no, I'm Javier Malay, at the Temple Wall, at the Western Wall.
Sorry. I didn't realize that.
It's all
Misinterpretation.
interconnected.
Right.
It's all interconnected, and it's the juice. It's always the juice.
Yeah, I know.
Don't read actually read the Talmud, everybody. Understand. These people hate you, and they want you dead.
I read the Stone edition. The stuff you talk about is barely mentioned in there.
Yeah.
It's not to the extent of what you're talking about, though.
Money. Now let's jump into the video. We're 20 minutes in, but this is a very special episode to close out, to open a new chapter.
Yeah. To be fair, they're both named Javier. I remember the guy's last name wrong. So here we go.
Where is cryptocurrency used? One place. Do you want something that has one level of demand, or do you want something that has a massive level of demand?
A big bombshell, ladies and gentlemen. So please, tell us what changed, how everything changed. Please go for it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the beautiful Kuala Lumpur. This is Javier Correa, the Tax Terminator. As always, I am back. And today I'm joined by the lovely Lynette Zhang. Thank you for being here. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so, thank you for having me.
No, it's a true honor to be with a legend such as yourself and somebody who's studied these, so much, the economic patterns of the world, the patterns of currencies. So for those of you who may be watching you for the first time, for those of you out there that maybe do not know who she is, could you please just give a little bit of an overview, what you do, what your specialty is, and why you know what you talk about?
Oh, absolutely. Because number one, I have been groomed for this moment in time. And really my lessons began when I was a child, because my uncle was a major antique dealer back east. And so he taught me the patterns of how hard assets actually flow from undervaluation to fair valuation to undervaluation, constantly like that. And when I was about 10 years old, and I didn't even realize how influential this was, but when I was 10 years old, my parents and I were at his house, and he said, "Come here, I want to show you something." And he took us in a back bedroom where he had 2 tall floor safes, and he opened the doors of those safes, and he said, "If anything should happen to me, your Aunt Bertie will be well taken care of for the rest of her life because of what's in these safes." So naturally, I turned around and looked, and what he had in there were all $20 pre-1933 $20 gold coins. So I didn't really understand the significance of it at 10 years old. But knowing what I know now, I would guess he had a minimum of 3,000 ounces. This would have been in 1964, when it was illegal in the US to hold more than 5 ounces of gold any other way than the way that he was holding it. So it was the kind of gold that not only could he hold, but he could actually use it in the normal market.
And this was Roosevelt who put this regulation into place, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So this was the Great Depression era, 1933. They come in and they start. This is the first time you really see in the U.S. government, or at least significantly in contemporary history, that they start regulating this strongly.
Well, everything starts slowly, right? And they start the lie and then they get you to believe the lie. So you have to also keep in mind that from 1913, when the Federal Reserve was first legalized, that they had 1 ounce, well, here it is, a 1 ounce gold coin.
Show that to the camera right there. 1 ounce.
There
gold
you go,
coin.
1 ounce gold coin, as well as a $20 gold certificate. And then magically also Federal Reserve notes, which were actually corporate debt converted into the new money. And they were all allowed to operate in the system at the same time, at the same stated level of purchasing power. So the public got used to it for 20 years, right? 1913 to 1933.
You adapt the population to it slowly, yeah. Over generations, people start forgetting.
Exactly, exactly. So when they took the gold out of the system, which really they were taking the public's power away.
Of course, it's a hidden tax. It's asset confiscation.
Absolutely. But it was also setting up to go on to the pure debt-based system. Because if they were used to using all three things as $20, when they took the gold and the gold certificates away, they still had those $20 Federal Reserve notes. So the population thought nothing had changed, when in reality,
Everything changed.
everything did.
Yeah. Psychological comfort. Yeah, no, I'm very, very aware of this. This is a very powerful thing. I think it's very plays into the whole psychological aspect of the 1984 kind of like, government slow takeover. And obviously, having grown up in Venezuela, as you know, that I've mentioned this in my talks, I think I got to see this basically fast forward, because obviously the Venezuelan central bank has done this at a much higher and much more rapid pace than the Federal Reserve. And I've seen what happens. But actually, my great aunt was 101. My grandmother passed away recently, now almost 96. They would remember when the Bolivar was actually backed by gold, and you could go to the central bank, and they would tell me stories of, and my great aunt still does, of being able to turn in your bill as a certificate and getting gold in exchange.
And what did that actually do? Because that's what the public needs to understand, which is the public had power. If you didn't like what the central bank or the government was doing, you'd go in with the bill and come out with the gold. And what gold really does in the monetary system is it creates or forces fiscal responsibility.
It puts restraints on government.
Exactly.
Now, because we have limited time, I would love for somebody like you to explain exactly why is gold money? Because that's something important. I think people do not understand today what money is. So unit of account, medium of exchange, and storage of value. What does that mean? And why has gold over thousands of years retained these three fundamental features?
There's actually a one more, and that's a long-term store of value. So the first one is about getting fairly paid for your labor today. And then that long-term store of value is whenever you go to use that money, it has the same purchasing power as it did for the labor that originally created it. And it's really
I just want to mention, because we have this fallacy of increasing the minimum wage, well, the fallacy of minimum wage in general, and what does minimum wage actually do for the society too? That doesn't come into effect until we're effectively on the fiat dollar, realistically. But if we were to increase the minimum wage and do it as a case of being true inflation based, and take it off of the rise of the price of gold, I believe the minimum wage would be $772, or no, $172 per hour back to gold because of inflation, something like that. That's wild.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
So
I remember doing
I'm
the calculation for minimum wage for the people I worked with up in Knoxville when I was living there. And the guy I was working with, he said, "This is how much I made." I think it was like $3.25 an hour or something like that, minimum wage at the time, like back in the 70s. And we went and calculated. He was making the same year compared to today. We were making $12.50 an hour as he was when he first started working back in the 70s.
Yeah, and the minimum wage is, and I mean, I think state of Tennessee, I think it's still roughly around like I think it's 7.25.
Yeah.
It matches the federal. Yeah, so same with Indiana, it's still 7.25. But yeah, so you're making a little like nobody actually pays the minimum wage because I mean you wouldn't have labor. Of course,
Right.
automation can fix that with the low skill uh worthless jobs that robots can do, and that's where I welcome the post labor economy because I think that's where we can take back our assets and we can actually use the post labor structure of automation along with the blockchain to our full advantage to benefit society. But I'm actually at this rate because of inflation, and I just want it to just all burn down. I am on the bandwagon of raising the minimum wage now. I really think it's time to raise it to $172 per hour.
Hmm.
Burn it
You
off.
really are an accelerationist, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. Accelerate. The more we accelerate, man, the more we accelerate and dig deep into what is simply pessimistic for some, the brighter the future is because we can. I mean, if we can destroy the foundation from the bottom up or from the top to the bottom, maybe in the middle, just go up to the middle. If we can destroy it from the middle, it'll all come crashing down. Then we can just start smashing the foundation if we feel like it. I think a lot of leftists would want to do that. Just smash the foundation, or we can use the foundation that's already there and rebuild. We don't have to destroy the foundation. Destroy the structure from the middle. So raise the minimum wage to $172 per hour, government. Make force these companies to have to pay a minimum. Have it all come crashing down because it's all fake and gay anyways. It's all fake. The economy's fake, your money is fake, everything is fake. So if we can destroy it and get down and get down to the foundation, we can rebuild it to something better. There's your white pill, everybody.
Listen, friend, don't block my driveway.
Oh, I'm blocking your driveway. Like them Amazon delivery drivers when they pull up.
Unhinged. It's a pretty good movie. Let's get
Mm.
into it.
Really quite simple because what we're talking about is sound money, which is above all governments and central banks to their ability to inflate away. And it's real simple. Gold and silver both are used in every single sector of the global economy. So they have the broadest base of functionality and the broadest base of demand. Where is fiat or government debt-based currency used? One place. Where is cryptocurrency used? One place. So if you're going into a knife fight like you did in Venezuela, do you want something that has one level of demand, or do you want something that has a massive level of demand? This is your financial bazooka.
Of course.
And that's why it's retained its value.
Even in a post-apocalyptic type scenario, there would be industrial uses for it. I mean, if we want to take it to an
Exactly.
extreme scenario, then yes, of course. And so ultimately, I mean, you've been studying this for a long time.
My whole life.
When did gold first emerge? And I think it emerged spontaneously through the free market, spontaneous order, as Hayek would say. When did gold first emerge as a form of money?
Well, wow, that was with King Croesus, so which I think I could be off on my dates a little bit, but I think it was something like 538 BC or something like that.
Okay.
And 1 ounce of gold bought a great suit of armor. And guess what?
It
You
still
can
buys a good
still-
suit.
Voila.
I can still go to Gucci and buy a great suit.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that is a wonderful analogy. So basically, somebody who would have left their great descendants some wealth stored, a treasure from the Roman times or ancient Athens, then you would still have great purchasing power today.
Exactly.
Has any other commodity-based money other than gold and silver managed to achieve the same level of results over history?
No, and that's because, and really it is gold. Gold is the primary currency metal, and that's because it's indestructible. And I want you to think, I want everybody to think about this actually, because it takes labor and energy to pull this out of the ground and refine it. But then that energy is stored. And because gold is indestructible in any form at all, it can be melted down and used again in every single sector of the global economy. And so this has infinite value because this energy is stored for use over and over and over and over again.
Yes. No, 100%. I think this is a very powerful sentiment. And I think throughout history, many tycoons have acknowledged this. Isn't there a famous quote? I'm pretty sure you know this better than I do, from JP Morgan. Didn't he say something like, gold is money, dollar is debt, or currency is debt? Something like that.
All other, yes, that is pretty close to what he said, that only gold is
JP
money,
Morgan was an evil
everything
man.
else is credit.
And
Yeah.
he was
I-
he did say something like that, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong, because the currency is the debt that is to the stored value. That's the reason why the old dollars were certificates of deposit backed by the gold that was being stored in the bank and what you were storing. So, like, any time that you wanted to exchange, you could exchange that currency for the gold. But it's debt. It's basically saying, I
wanna-
owe you this.
I want to push back against what she's saying here just a little bit. I mean, she's not wrong in the fact that you can use gold and silver in multiple ways besides just money. But you
You
could
can.
also when programming for crypto and stuff like that, you can do a lot more with it than just money as well. It's just that right now the big primary use case is money, is because they're trying to get everybody on board.
Well, what they're doing, and this is the dark shadow realm of crypto, is they're attempting to use it. The powers that be are attempting to use it as a means to control through consolidation and confuse people for what it is. So they're trying to articulate it as a new reserve, and so you're getting this fallacy of like the maxi, where it's just number go up. Well, if it's number go up, then you're basically just reflecting that the dollar is worthless. So why are we trying to reflect, say, Bitcoin with the dollar, when obviously the price is going to soar when the dollar is depreciating and you have no purchase power? The value of that dollar is effectively worthless. That's why the price is going up. And so there's more utility on the blockchain for other uses. Like, you can
Mhm.
open up a DAO, a decent, and govern yourselves through the blockchain with I mean, an example
You
is
can
the DAO, the decentralized
you can
autonomous organization. So go ahead.
Ethereum's got a cloud service so you can store video and pictures and stuff on.
Exactly. So Ethereum has their
Or
cloud
just
service. Monero actually has a marketplace that you can literally buy and sell both Monero and fiat, and or exchange other cryptos for Monero. Plus, you can actually buy goods and even services on XMR Bazaar. I mean, so
yeah.
they all have the utility source.
And I mean, we all know about Dragon Chain because we're on the podcast regularly on Thursdays, right? They've got Den.social, which is a social network. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
that's it. Like I was talking about before, Ethereum, Dragon Chain is the ERC20 token on the Ethereum network, but it's decentralized throughout different blockchains. So there's a lot of potential there. It's just everyone sees for the FOMO. No one sees the actual potential use cases until like killer app comes out for it, like CryptoKitties.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and that's the brilliance of blockchain. I mean, and the latest news that just will not go away is the Epstein files, right? Well, imagine if we applied the files to the blockchain, it's immutable. You cannot, it can never be moved from the blockchain. It's there. And you can actually decipher who was on that list, and it's out there. And you'll know who was there and who was a part of the scheme and who was partners and who was a client and who was a pedophile. And you would know because I mean, that is one aspect of the utility of the blockchain that would be a benefit. Society would know, and it would keep people in check, because you're not gonna have politicians and bureaucrats and central bankers and businessmen and investors that are going to attempt to overhaul their supposed superiority over you that they don't actually have, when it's already known, thanks to the blockchain. If we were to use it and implicate certain files on there, I mean, they would have to go hide.
Right.
They're
And
not going to have power anymore.
I mean, I'm not talking about the Epstein stuff, but I was watching this video this morning of from Count Dankula, and he was talking about there was this group of people down in France who were being really discriminated against. So like they don't know exactly who they were. It's kind of long and complicated. Basically, during the French Revolution, they went in and they destroyed all their birth certificates. So they kind of scatter off into the wind and hide their identity or whatever. And that was, that is something that if people wanted to keep a record of people's identity, like a group of people like that, they could do it. It wasn't like anything inappropriate. It was just, people being discriminated against because they're like, not just they were French, but they were like a different subsection of the French population. And I never
They
heard
were
of it,
probably
but it was
they were probably considering the French Revolution was a Enlightenment Illuminati influenced secular proto Marxist movement. It was probably a group of Catholics. Not gonna lie, they were
well,
probably Catholic.
the Catholic Church did have like their own like door for them to enter into and stuff like that, and to be baptized and everything. So
It oh, I don't know
I'm
what that means, Williams. I
I'm in
burn
awe.
it
I'm
all.
in awe that it. Oh, I said I'm in awe that the emperor decided to grace us
It
on our channel.
all fake. Oh, there we go. It all fake.
And gay.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome, William. So yeah,
Well, let's
everything's
get back
fake.
into this.
There you go.
right?
Okay.
Everything else is credit. And the Bank for International Settlements, which of course is the central banker's central bank, has said only gold has zero, it's the only financial asset that has zero counterparty risk,
Interesting.
right? Well, if it's credit, then that means it's a contract.
Of course, definitely there's a contractual base there. Now, I want to zoom in on a very hot topic right now, because I think that Bitcoiners and gold bugs, we share a lot of the fundamental beliefs. I think at heart, we're the same kind of people. We have the same healthy distrust for big government. We believe in sound money, but we go about it in different ways. I'm diversified. I have some Bitcoin, but originally I'm more into gold. I have recently diversified more into Bitcoin. You're obviously a big supporter of gold, but you're also very aware of the evolution of the crypto space. How do you view those two assets? Do you view them coexisting? Are they rivals? What do you think?
Wow, I have lots of thoughts on that. But number one, I started watching Bitcoin when it was about $7 a coin. So I've been watching this evolution. I do not think that it's an accident that Bitcoin came out to the public in January of 2009 and quantitative easing. So all that free massive amount of money came out in March of 2009. And I've also read the 1996 NSA white paper. So that's an American government agency.
National Security Agency.
Exactly. On how to make a mint. And if you go in, I mean, it's open source. You can go in and read it, and you're going to find a lot of similarities. So there was, frankly, no doubt in my mind that in 2008, when they let Shearson go out, that the system had died. And it was put on life support to get the new system ready. And the new system was already, I mean, this isn't something that was magical. That's why Bitcoin came out in January of 2009. Because let me ask you, how much money do you think would have gone into this? Since you're absolutely right, there's the same fundamental belief. But how much more money would have gone into this?
Yeah, gold would have been $30,000 an ounce or something. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, God knows what it would be.
Yeah, with
because you would have
stratosphere
had,
levels,
exactly. And actually, that's only in terms of dollars. We should talk about fundamental value another time. So I believe that Bitcoin was a Trojan horse and is a Trojan horse to get people comfortable, get enough adoption to then go into this next surveillance economy.
Right, because Bitcoin is ultimately more trackable. You're right. Ultimately, you have the transactions in and out. Obviously, I'm not a tech guy, and many tech guys will say, well, the blockchain, there's independence. I don't know to what extent that will really work once we get quantum computing, once we get all these more sophisticated things. And also, there's talk about CBDCs, so central bank digital currencies. You were talking about stable coins earlier.
Yes.
So it's history repeating itself. Is the government coming in and saying, yeah, we're doing crypto too. So now we're here, and like crypto people come over here, and now banks are starting to have crypto custody accounts.
just
so
sent
it's
me
starting to
the
remind me
Wikipedia,
of how
whatever
my
that means.
grandmother would tell me, oh, you know, in 1940, when the Venezuela
Okay,
want-
the Kegel, the Kegel. Yes, they're the rumor has it that they are legendary figures that are cursed of God, possibly lepers. But in reality, they were probably related to the Cathars. But they were most likely a fallen guild of carpenters. And considering that the French Revolution was effectively a proto-socialist revolution of chaos and destruction, because that's just how Bolshevikism is. That's how communism rises out to be. I would tend to say that they were probably descendants of old carpenters. They were workers. They were responsible for themselves, and the state doesn't like that.
Yeah,
The
I was just going to mention what they were called. I didn't know if you want to read about them or not. I not during the episode. So I was just sending it to you privately. So
no, I wanted to mention that to get some facts straight. So there are some legendary implementations to the Kegos. I don't know. I don't speak Italian,
Kagot.
French. Kagot. No, the T would be silent if it's French. But solution is segregation, separate from their fraudulent system. Build a physical community with its own sound money, or else you will become like the Kego in the French Revolution by the Jacobin, persecuted. So segregation is the key. Or the early church under the guise of the Roman Empire, where they were very. I mean, the solution is to be agoristic in nature, to be counter economical, both to be counter political or anti political, to be counter societal, to be counter cultural, to live within your own phase, separate from powers that be that want to control you, that want to enslave you, that want to kill you.
Neutrality comes at a premium.
Yeah. So that's why it's imperative that we divorce ourselves from a sect of demons from a tiny little state and on the coast of the Mediterranean and the Middle East.
That's applies in New Jersey, from what I hear.
We should divorce from New Jersey as well, that tiny little state on the eastern coast of the United States off the Atlantic. That is very Bolshevik like. So divorce from New Jersey and divorce from that tiny little state that we cannot name for reasons off the coast of the Mediterranean and the Near East.
central bank came online, we were asked to bring our gold to the vault of the central bank, and we would get a certificate, and it was for our safety because the government was protecting us. So what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on that?
Well, absolutely. I'm glad you brought up stable coins because I think this is so significant. I've studied currencies and currency life cycles since I was a stockbroker at Shearson in 1987. And what people don't realize is when President Trump recently signed the Genius Act, legalizing, so that's the first legal foundation for these cryptocurrencies, he changed the global monetary system. People don't realize it, but it doesn't matter. They didn't realize it.
A big bombshell, ladies and gentlemen. So please, so tell us what changed, how everything changed. Please go for it.
Well, what he really did was he gave a legal foundation to this digital currency. And where you were talking about CBDCs, and of course in the US, they're going, oh, no, CBDCs. But here's where we've got the parallel, and here's where there's a repetition of history. If you go back and look, in 1914, they had a foundation of gold. And then that fractional reserve system on a 10-to-1 basis, and I have all this evidence for it. I'm happy to give you the links and also the images. Then it was corporations, their debt that was converted into Federal Reserve notes and then put in circulation. So today, with the legalization of the stable coins, they're tied to dollars, but it's again the corporations like Amazon, like Walmart, like Costco, and I don't know that we have these all around the world, but all those big box retailers that are creating the stable coins, as well as the banks, etc. So take your pick. Do you want the Federal Reserve or a central bank with the CBDCs controlling everything? Or do you want Amazon and AI knowing how you think and how to nudge
your spending patterns, all of that?
Voila. And so I questioned for a very long time and kept researching and looking for it. What was going to justify the creation of the new money? Because in the current system, it's debt. And all I ever saw was either debt, which means we have to hyperinflate away the debt that's, and you've experienced that.
I know what that looks
right?
like.
You got to hyperinflate the debt away to start over. But now it's also going to be purchases. So you get into this ecosystem through Amazon or any other retailer.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the US government through the Treasury or the Fed, I can't remember which one, already is one of the largest, or if not the largest, Bitcoin holder in the world.
Well, they're not. They're holding a lot because of the confiscation of it. And so they're going to use it as an asset. But the bottom line really is if Amazon creates this infrastructure and now you're shopping with those stable coins, then Amazon has to go and buy treasuries to back the stable coins on a one-to-one basis. But there are no limitations or restrictions on how many entities or who, really, any corporation can issue stable coins. Any government can issue stable coins. So while today, this is another big, huge piece, and I think you'll have an idea about this, but the latest count that I saw, the stablecoin industry on a global basis, there are about 125 billion stablecoins out there.
Yes.
The goal by 2028, something like that, is to have over 2 trillion stable coins.
Okay.
So what would that do to inflation?
Oh, of course, that would be terrible. But then one thing that I do find interesting is you're talking about stable coins and you're talking about really centralized entities using blockchain in a way or another, calling it a stable coin. But ultimately, a Bitcoin maximalist would tell you, yeah, but that doesn't apply to Bitcoin because Bitcoin is in the blockchain, it's decentralized, no government controls it. But you also said Bitcoin is a Trojan horse. So how does that tie into it? Do you think governments have led people to believe Bitcoin is the salvation and truly it is the weapon that is going to annihilate the new generation of money?
Well, absolutely. And you know, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but do you really think that Bitcoin is outside of the system?
I mean, Blockchain technology, I think, could be very promising.
We're talking about two different things.
Mhm.
I'm not talking the blockchain technology. Why do we even need politicians? Because with blockchain, couldn't we all just individually vote for what we wanted, right?
Technically, yes.
They are not bringing anything up about that. So blockchain technology is over here, and it has some use cases. I'm not saying that, but I am saying with Bitcoin or the stable coins or any of these cryptocurrencies where it's been sold as being outside of the system, if you really believe that, considering the adoption of Wall Street heavily into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a trading medium, because it really also goes back to how do you know what its true value is? Should be $1 trillion. What is its value? What is its use case? What is its functionality? We don't know that yet.
I guess the market could potentially determine that. But on that note, and with those very interesting questions that you have pondered for our audience, I believe the important thing to leave on this with our final message is gold has been around for thousands of years.
Mhm.
Gold has a proven track record
Voila.
of working. It is the money that emerged from the free market for spontaneity. And the important thing is you keep gold in your radar, potentially store it offshore, keep it safe for when the next thing happens, Venezuela style or 1933 style in the US, then you are prepared. On that note, thank you for watching. And Lynette Zhang, it was a pleasure hosting you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Bitcoin was out of the system, then was compromised. Blockchain and new AI models are also part of the solution.
Well, I
So-
mean, there's a history, you know, CIA, FBI, they were contacted, or there was contact made, you know, with the Bitcoin core
Mhm.
developers in the very early stages. So
as we're heading towards a great reset, and hopefully not their great reset, but a reset is needed financially, economically, monetarily. Where do we stand in our culture today? Is America 1933 Germany or what or is America 1917 Russia, or is America 1910 America? Something happened in
Well,
1910, everybody.
go look
But
it
you
up.
don't know about that.
I mean, really, I'd like to think I remember hearing about on Tom Woods, there was a podcast about Lysander Spooner, and he's talking about free market banking and stuff like that. Like Lysander Spooner wrote a book, and that's where I'm coming from personally, is that this is because of the way that, you know, crypto is open sourced, and people can actually go and read the code and edit it as they want to and resubmit it. That's where I'm at, is that it's just like in the 1800s in free market banking. But I know that's not going to be everybody, and you know, it's a case by case basis of what people think.
This is in today's day and age. This is when I would say, diversify. Jump into the blockchain. Diversify in certain cryptos. Stay away from stable coins, though. Stable coins can actually be somewhat good, but I think as they're consolidating the stable coin apparatus to peg to the dollar, and as she said, use corporate debt to relegate the dollar in order to reset, but surrounding the reserve of the day. I think the innovative and adaptive measure in countering that has been the decentralization of private tokenization, such as Xano or Dragon Chain, for that matter. And then the utility aspect use for blockchain measures like, say, Den.social. I mean, that's where the application is towards diversifying into the crypto realm, but then also diversify into gold, heads with silver, heads with copper, and then also learn your community and start building relationships with your neighbors. I mean, we've come up from, we've been so relegated to a culture of comfort that everybody has been forced to stay away from their neighbors. We have neighbors, but yet we're not close with our neighbors. They're not community. They're just, they live next door to me. And in reality, you should go next door to them, talk with them, gain information with them, learn about them, and even share things with them, even if it's physical. Like if they need a shovel, maybe next time you might need a pickaxe because you found the gold mine in your backyard.
Right.
You let me borrow that pickaxe, sir, and I'll give you 20% of my findings.
Cool. Sounds like a good deal to me.
So 80-20, 80-20. That's a great deal in my mind. I get your pickaxe, you get 20%. I'm still very, very rich.
Hey.
And so are
I
you.
know. I remember seeing Steve from Crypto University mention this way back when I first started watching him. He said, if you're going to get involved in this sort of thing with crypto and stuff like that, don't have 1,000 little tiny investments. He said that it's good to concentrate on one or two things and then diversify after that. Once, you've become something financially with what you have invested in. And I think that's some pretty good sound advice.
So invest in what you believe is the best investment, and then from there, once you've seen your return, in
And it's
diversify into
stable.
other
Yeah.
assets. Yes.
Yeah.
So effectively, take what, like we'll take Bitcoin, maxi up, baby, number go up. You've
To the
seen
moon.
straight to the moon. To the moon, Alice, to the moon. But
Onto the piggy bank.
yeah, but you're taking the maxi level idea of Bitcoin and you're watching it as it rises, and it's well over $100,000 now. So you're stable on that. It's time to exit. So then you exit bit by piece by applying to a diversification of other investments, perhaps within exchanging for other cryptos, get into the other crypto landscape. Perhaps maybe there is a stable coin that you like. Perhaps there's a piece of land that you want to buy that you can use for business pursuits, like say acre and a half that could be a parking lot for beachgoers. That's only $10,000 in Myrtle Beach. Perhaps so you can diversify. Perhaps there's a business and a new barbershop on the corner that's trying to start out, and you really feel that the human touch and the human experience within the human condition of just of that old philosophy of what the barbershop meant, which was not just getting a haircut or a clean cut shave, but also that compassionate relationship that you could build. Like the barber at one time was basically the therapist and the dentist and the surgeon and the political pundit, possibly your city councilman as well. So you could get your news and your gossip.
We all know a good barber is one with a spittoon. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, so when you're getting the shave and hoping that he doesn't slit your throat, you can also, you do know how, you know that there's a spittoon in the corner, so you're chewing your tobacco and you spit, and that's how you de-stress from the fact that he has a blade on your throat.
Yeah. It can't be the fact that there was one when I was growing up that had a spittoon. That's all I'm saying.
All I can say is going to the barber, we do need to reinvest in barbershops, because it does give that human contact, of human experience, that relationship aspect. Because you got to put a lot of trust into somebody that has a big old blade trimming you up. That's a lot of trust, because they could slip accidentally or purposefully. They could hate your guts. So that's a lot of trust in your fellow man, and that's why we don't live in we live in a very low trust society now. We don't have that anymore. And if we lived in a high trust society, you could go back to the days of the old barber. I mean, not to say, not actually, I'm using this metaphorically, but you could go back to it. We need trust in society. And one way to do that is in your assets, in the monetary system, financially, economically. I mean, when there's competition through cooperation and everything that you do, diversifying within an actual market of life, then you create trust, and you can still rival each other with ideas, but at the same time take from each other and share with each other so that you can better each other's ideas. And we just can't, we don't do that, because that's what the basilic effect is all about. That's what the monster known as the state has done. I mean, it has cannibalized our financial and economic system, utilizing politics to eat away our humanity. We're no longer
Let
human
me
in this society.
let me illustrate a picture for you. Back in the 1800s, you could ship. I know it sounds weird. You could send your baby from one member of your family to your parents several states away on a train, and they would take care of it, and there would nothing. Generally speaking, nobody would harm the baby, and they would. That's how they would, if they wanted them to see him. I
Mm,
don't trust me. Look it up yourself.
yeah, nowadays you'd be worried about if the train's just full of nothing but pedophiles, which it probably is. 1910 political division of the U.S. Republican Party stemming from the Pinchot affair. You want to know what's interesting about this, in my opinion? Um, that now that you brought up 1910, of course, other things occurred in 1910 on an island known as Jekyll in Georgia later on in the year. Um, this was when the fractured Socialist Republican Party, the socialists fractured away and ended up going to the Democrat Party, and gobbling up the Democrats, knowing that the Democrats were the party of power. And so the socialists who founded the Republicans, they knew that they needed to grab a hold of the other opposing party. And so that in effect is in 1910 was when the Uniparty was formed, because the socialists now had control of the Republicans that they founded, and now they have the control of the Democrats, whom they end up stemming towards because of the fracture within within the conservative wings of the Republican Party. So now you have a uniparty of socialists. So it's also the start of the Mexican War, which is also very intriguing, and probably a banker's war as well. So 1912, the Titanic sunk, and then 1913, the Federal Reserve was founded and made into law. That went into effect. And then in 1914, the Great War began. So it all interconnects, in my opinion. The political upheaval of the United States leads to Jekyll Island. Actually, 1906 or 1907 was the last great panic. Believe it was 1908. But yeah, 1908 panic, economic panic that led to 1910 political upheaval within the Republican Party. The socialists grabbed a hold of the Democrats. 1910 also led to the Jekyll Island secret meeting between the central bankers and their cohorts. 1912 Titanic, 1913 Federal Reserve, 1914 Great War, and then of course 1910, and also, or 1910, 1911 was the Mexican Revolution. 1913 we Epsteined ourselves.
He actually said that before Zach did. It's just we didn't pull it up. Full
Yes,
disclosure,
1913.
I don't know if it's going to really mean anything or not, but Ballinger's part of my lineage. I don't know if it's related to that particular affair, but I just got to throw that out there.
Hi, everybody. Anyways, do we have anything else, Andrew?
No, I've probably doxed myself enough today. Thank you very much.
You dox yourself. What's your social security number? I mean,
Well,
who
that's-
cares? I mean, who cares? Though? I mean, Indians know it anyways. That's why we're getting scam calls all the time.
Right.
They already know it.
I love getting those group text messages and sending bullshit messages. Like Stone Cold
yeah.
Steve Autumn. He's sitting
Mhm.
there Stone
What's,
Cold and with a cup of
what's
hot
your-
cocoa.
What is your address, your place of residence?
You can look that up on Google if you wanted. You'll find it.
What's your last name isn't Joseph?
No, I know that.
I'm not doxing you. Now everybody's gonna try to figure out, well, what's his last name then? If you're really, really smart, everybody, you can figure it out. I am a Ballinger too. Hello, comrade.
Well, that's cool. Oh,
Commies. You commies. Anyways, I see oh shit. Somebody's at your door.
is he here? I'll go check. I'll be right back.
I think he's here. Bitcoin, man. It's probably Bitcoin. Peace out, everybody.
Bitcoin, baby.
Hey, yeah, this is Bitcoin. I'm back. The king of the rap shit. I'm back in this Bitcoin, baby. I'm back in this bitch. Flossing fast cars and rolling with my clique. The king of the rap shit, the real OG. Whack ass rappers got nothing on me. Bought another Lambo, 3 hoes inside it, 10 hoes in line, ready to ride it. It's Bitcoin, bitch. Keep the track bumping. Really on the plug. I got pies in the oven. 80 years old, and your baby mama fond of me. All she wanna do is smoke my broccoli. Private jets from Rome to Ibiza. Lisa, Jenny, Julie, and Maria. Every day I gotta give thanks. I got bitcoins in the bank. Bitcoin, baby. I'm back in this bitch.
Bitcoin, baby. Oh,
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Bitcoin, baby.
The king of the rap shit. I'm back in this bitch. Axe your grandmother. Verse 2, coming with the gin and the juice. Call me a dragon. Spit flame in the boot. I'm hot, like a thermos full of coffee. So hot, can't get the hose off me. It's true, I got the weed card and shit. I'm smoking like a motherfucking chimney, kid. Bitches love me. My shit's never whack. Tell these motherfuckers Bitcoin's back.
Bitcoin, baby.
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Hot like hot coffee. Oh,
Axe your grandmother.
Surprise, motherfucker.
The king of the rap shit. I'm back in this bitch.
Get your hands in the air. Put your hands on the car. Put your 2 hands on the rock. Put your 2 hands on the rock.
Bitcoin, baby.